So I think last time, how did we even conclude? So basically, I think one of the main conclusion is that whenever there is a natural technological development resulting in increase in the supply of monetary goods, good loses its value, and the market will select another high stock to flow ratio good or like currency, if that's the case.
Whenever there is what how do you say it again?
So I was saying, whenever there's a natural or technological development, resulting in increase in the supply of monetary good, right? Like I'll give you an example. You remember when we were talking about the seashells, right? Initially, it was hard to get, right? But then as technology
So
developed,
basically inflation.
yes,
Yeah.
as technology developed, it was easier to get seashells and then flood into the market, and therefore you have
Seashell
inflation.
lost its value.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I mean by technological development.
I don't even think it's gonna be technological development for that to happen. I think what we've seen over the past 20 years, and when I say 20 years, I'm using 20 years not because that's when it's all started, but more of because that's when I'm matured. I've become matured enough to actually understand what's happening around me, especially when it pertains to money. Because obviously, someone could tell you everything went to shit in 1971. When we moved from gold standard.
Yes.
But then I was not in 1971.
Yes.
I'm too young for that. So from my own perspective, is based on what has been happening in the past 20 years.
Yes.
I don't think it's just technological advancement. It's
not just technological, natural, and then technological.
I actually think is more of centralized human action. When you say when there is central human action, because if a civilization becomes technologically advanced so much so that they bring out they find a way to just inflate the market, inflate their monetary system, then are they not wise enough to understand the implication of that?
Yeah.
If you get what I mean. But then what we are seeing is not because we are technologically advanced. It's because we have some vested interests that are centralized, and then they take action. They take action that actually affects other people for whatever reasons.
Absolutely.
That we can get into right now.
So basically, to my understanding, right, is hardness of money, right? And basically what you're saying is that obviously you have people that can obviously have a say in the monetary policies, and obviously that will automatically affect the currency itself, right? The point I'm trying to make, I'm talking about the hardness of money. So let's say, for example, obviously you have easy money and you have hard money.
Okay, so you're saying when you have a technological advancement that breaks the hardness of money.
Of the money, and then kind of give the person an opportunity to flood the market with. So let's say, for example, what we are doing right now, this is a clear example of what's happening right now, right? We have dollars, we have the Feds that every now and then would print more money and then would flood the market with the money, and then obviously devalues the currency in the process. That's what I'm talking about.
So you're saying it's become less hard.
It's become less hard.
It's become easier.
It's become easier. So anytime that happens, what we tend to do is we tend to naturally look for something that we want to invest our money in, because now we feel like saving our wealth in that currency is not safe anymore for our wealth, right? So that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So in a way, I think the next people that comes to my mind is the yaps. With a raystone.
Yeah.
I don't know whether people are familiar with the story, but to give it a bit of context, there's this little island that use raystone.
I heard that it's still there.
It's there, but they use it for ceremonial purposes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like on that island. I can't remember what's the name of the island. But I'll remember it before we end. Yeah. So.
Or you might not.
And then so basically what they do is they get a stone carried from Palu, and then they bring it into the island. That stone is a massive stone, weighs about 3 to 4 metric tons. So it's not a stone that can be moved, right? And
how did they bring it to the island?
On canoes, at the risk of human capital. People actually die bring it. That's what makes that stone so valuable. You know, because people actually
now it's hard money.
It's hard
Hard
money.
money, literally.
Yeah. You know, for people to bring it, they have to move it. They have to create from Palu, and then use the canoe to bring it, and then you tell them where you want it to station. Wherever it's stationed, it's not going to be moved for the next
Decades.
decades. You know, and for a very long time, they've been successful at doing it. So everybody knows that, okay, you know what, this stone belongs to Bucci, as an example, right? And then when we have a transaction, then you can say, okay, this stone now belongs to Mackenzie, So I provide you a good, and then and then that's how it keeps going. But it's one stone that it's crazy because although it's there in a way, but it still transcends time, Actually, what do I mean? Well, hold on one second. What I mean by transcends time, space and time. Although the stone is there, right?
It doesn't attack. How it doesn't? Because it's occupying space and it doesn't move.
It's not moving.
So
but
there is
someone in the village, in the next village. Yeah, you can still buy the goods, right? You can still buy goods from them. That stone is still where it is.
That's very problematic. I know this theory, by the way. It just I don't think it transcends time and space, to be honest. Okay. Because it's stationary, apparently, and it's gonna be there. And from what you've just explained, it's basically, I want to buy a laptop.
Yeah.
You give me the laptop, and now the stone belongs to you.
Yeah.
So how many sort of transactions do they do
with that stone?
Yeah.
So obviously,
how many people do they have?
You look at account of units, right? You look at account of units. So I don't know whether they might have smaller stones. I don't know how.
Exactly. I was about to ask. Why don't they chip? Why don't they? If it's a special type of stone, that opens up another can of worms. Because I was gonna say, why don't they chip some of the stones and then use that for multiple smaller transactions? You understand? But then if you do that, then someone can go to a different country, break that particular stone into pieces and flood it into your country.
Yes,
and that inflates the stone.
Exactly. And then, unfortunately, actually, I think with what you just said, there was somebody called David O'Keefe, which unfortunately happened to be. No, I was about to say unfortunately happened to be an Irish American, but not like that. Basically, had a shipwreck, and then he got to the island and then discovered that they had coconut, and they decided that they wanted to start a coconut trade. Maybe get it from the island and then sell it in the West, basically. And then the issue was now that he didn't have their currency, because obviously the currency that he had was paper and coin at the time. I think it was in 1871 or something like that. So he had paper and coins, and they wouldn't accept that because obviously that's not the currency.
They don't know the value.
They don't know. They don't understand the value of it.
It's kind of an subjective value of money.
Yeah, like that wasn't money to them.
It's paper.
So what he did is like, okay, if that's what it is, if that's what it takes, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to bring that same stone. Now, when he brought the stone, obviously where he was coming from, they had better boats. They were not dealing with canoes, right? So he basically managed to find a way to bring the stone. Although the chief argued and said to the people that, look, this is not the type of stone that we want, because the stone that we are used to are stones that are hard to get. So when I was reading the story, I was actually fascinated, because it's almost like they understood the principles of money, or the hardness of money, and there was a value placed on that stone.
I think naturally, if you remove a lot of externalities, people would actually be able to do business. That's why people that argue that one of the major problems that we have in the economy today is interference. Where you have central parties interfering in the system. That's actually the problem that we have, because if you leave a set of people, they would develop their own money, and they would actually develop it in a way that it's hard money. that works perfectly.
Absolutely.
It's like if you go to the prisons where the cigarettes are used as money, because it's hard to get cigarettes inside the prison.
Yeah.
So, if you have like 2 cigarettes, you might get a carton of noodles. I don't know. I'm just saying. I've not been to jail. I've never been to jail.
By the way, it's called Yap Island.
Yap Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then this is why when you said that it's about technology, I didn't understand initially what you were saying, because to me, I've always had this notion that the problem that we have when it comes to money and the economy is just the fact that we've relinquished power and authority to a set of people.
Okay.
And those people are fallible, like they are humans, and humans have interests, and they have a lot of fallibilities in them that makes them to take some of these decisions. Yeah.
Okay. So now, when we talk about the evolution of technology, right now, look at the kind of currencies we are dealing with. We're dealing with cryptocurrencies. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So remember, we're talking about, okay, anytime there's a involvement, the thing is, sometimes it takes longer, right? It takes longer because obviously when you have before, you have to look at it as it was when the barter system started. It started in small societies, and then as the society became bigger, it became more complex, to kind of trade in barter, and there was a need for something that was like a single medium of exchange that everybody would recognize. So once you start going onto that level, once you start going into that, once the society becomes more complex and it becomes much more bigger, it becomes difficult to trade in a barter system. You go for a single medium of exchange.
So I understand that.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that right now we're living in an era where, for example, dollar is being used across the whole world.
Almost.
Right? Almost across the whole world, right? So it becomes now challenging to transition because it's something that everybody has adopted. Everybody knows the dollar. It becomes much more challenging. So it takes even much more longer to transition from dollar.
Hold on. You need to understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the technology thing, because what you are saying, an economy becomes so technologically advanced that their monetary system becomes so easy to print or to make. So they need to advance to a harder system, a system that is much harder to use that as a store of value.
Yes,
that's what you're saying, right? Now, my point is that that's just like it's not even the primary issue.
Yeah.
To me, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think it is the primary issue. I think the primary issue is relinquishing power to a set of people. I think that's the primary issue, because then those people are now the ones that are making that decision. Because I believe if we don't have the feds,
I was going somewhere with that point.
Okay,
by the way,
because I think if we don't have the feds, for example, when Bitcoin came out, the adoption would have been easier.
That's why I'm saying that. That's what I was saying. I was going somewhere with that point. The point I was trying to make is that right now we've come to an era now that we have Bitcoin. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So we are now transitioning into Bitcoin because Bitcoin has proven to be a harder money than the money than the currency that we're currently using, right? So now we're transitioning based on technology because right now, obviously, right now before it was paper based. Now it's all to do with algorithm. We are now trusting an algorithm that says that we only have 21 million supply of Bitcoins, and then after that, there's no monetary policies that can be imposed by anyone. Nobody can make any decision and say, okay, we're going to increase or we're going to decrease or we're going to do this to Bitcoin or that to Bitcoins. Nothing can be done to Bitcoin. And so that's how you
can build ramps on Bitcoin.
Yes.
You can build ramps like the Lightning Network or Taro.
Yes, but the currency itself, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, the base of it is strong.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So that's what I'm trying to say, that we have evolved from the barter system. We've gradually evolved into obviously single coin and paper, and then right now we've come to an era where we've now moved on to a different phase, in currency wise, where we are now using digital money. And when I say digital money, I'm not talking about dollars, and I'm talking about cryptos, Bitcoin.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. in a nutshell. We have evolved
Yeah.
over time.
I agree with you. I think the question would be, what do you think? What do you think the world would have been like if we did not move into fiat? If we are still using gold, as money and silver and other metals? Like if we had gone more bimetallic, where
Yeah.
gold is the basis, and then you have silver that is second to gold, and then you have something like maybe nickel that is like, like for example, if I give you one gold, one kind of one, I don't know, 1 ounce of gold, for example, it will give you it is equivalent to like 10,000 nickels, something like that. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm just using that as an example. Do you think, what do you think would have happened? Because the way I see it, I feel like we had a solution. We had a solution with gold. Yeah, it's not perfect because Bitcoin is 10,000 by 10,000% better than gold.
Yeah.
In all ramifications. But I feel like some of the problems that we are facing today, when you look at inflation, could have been avoided if we are using gold. Naturally, because it is hard to mine to actually get gold. Yes, we can all wake up tomorrow and be like Uganda that discovered gold deposits worth $12 trillion overnight. That could happen, but essentially, it's not something that it's not something. Funny enough, as I'm saying this, and an idea is coming to my head. It's not something that the Feds or a group of people can just sit in one country just because the currency, the base layer currency, which is the dollar, that most countries accept and have reserves, keep their reserves in. Now they will just inflate it. It's not something like that. But then, as I was saying that, something just came into my head. The reason why gold might not have worked, it could be that, because some civilizations actually advance faster than other civilizations. And then what happened was that when a civilization is more advanced than another civilization, if the other civilization that is not so advanced, if they've got gold, the advanced civilization would actually come into and conquer the civilization that have got gold and to take their gold. And Bitcoin is a lot better than this because Bitcoin is not something that is physical. Yes, you can decide to hack a civilization system, but what if it's in their head? Like what if it's in the head, like in memory, this thing that is stored in the memory of the king of this thing. Are you gonna if you kill the king, you don't get anything. So you might as well don't do that and just do business with them. So
I think in a nutshell, let's say for example, if we're still backed by gold, right? What would have happened in our economy? Our economy would have been a little bit stronger because everything would be value based. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It would be, okay, what can I do to bring value to earn? So you would actually earn it. All this printing. And in fact, I personally feel like a lot of wars would have never happened in the first place. Would have been avoided. A lot of wars would have been avoided, right? Because what are the first thing? What did the British do when they were warring? They increased, they printed more money, right? But when you're gold based, it's very difficult because what you're saying is that the money that I have is equal to the amount of gold that I have stored, right? So now, okay, you really, really have to think really damn hard to say, okay, do I really, really want to go to war? America wants to go to war with Vietnam or China. Vietnam, look at how expensive the war between America and Vietnam was, to the point whereby they had to say, you know what, we had to literally come out of the gold standard. That's how expensive war is. And Vietnam, look at the size of America and look at the size of Vietnam.
True.
So imagine something like what's happening right now, Russia, Ukraine, where America, do you think America would actually support Ukraine? Because they'll be thinking, okay,
it's too expensive for us.
It's too expensive. A lot of wars would have been avoided. It's the printing of money that is actually has made war so profitable. But I think it would have been a value. Would be living in a value system where people might work a little bit harder because people might want to bring value and earned. It's like, when they say you earned your money, you damn right earned your money. Do you know what I mean? And what you earn is basically you're saying, okay, if you say you got $1 million, basically what you're saying is I can go to the bank today and withdraw 1 million pounds worth of gold.
Because it's there.
It's there for you.
You probably will have like something that certifies that you are the owner of that they've kept in the bank for you.
So I feel like, yes, it wouldn't solve the problem that Bitcoin is solving. Obviously, gold has other resources that is used for, like obviously like gold chain, jewelries, and all those things.
Instantaneous value.
Yeah, it's got that as well. Bitcoin comes in. The reason why Bitcoin comes in again is gold. Let's say if we removed the receipt, which is the money, that we use for gold, right? If we remove that, it's not as liquid as Bitcoin. Bitcoin is very liquid.
Yeah, it's not even liquid. I think it's not liquid. I don't think it's liquid.
It's liquid. The reason I'm saying it's liquid is because you're
looking at the movement. How easy it is to transfer.
To transfer.
Transferability.
Yeah. If right now I want to give you gold, I have to go to my bank.
Yeah, I think was it last year? Was it last year or this year that I was speaking to Enoch, one of our friends?
Yeah.
For the people that are listening to us for the first time, Enoch has always been here with us. I was speaking with Enoch. I told him, look, he was telling me about this guy that is a gold bug. Like he's always talking about gold. That gold is his real money and all of that. I told him, look, what you have to ask the guy is this: if he wakes up and decide, and for whatever reasons he's got a problem with the government in the UK, with the UK government, how is he going to move his gold? Without them without forfeiture, seizure rather by the government. The first thing the government would do is to seize your gold, because they know that's money. They know that's how you could be able to exchange value with other people. So they don't want you to run away. They don't want you to move. They actually will impede on your freedom. And the only way they will do that is by seizing your gold. If it was Bitcoin, they can't do that. Now, but that's another thing. Now, another thing is this: if I go to, let's say that I've got like 500 acres of land in Nigeria that my granddad left for me, and then because I'm done with Nigeria, insecurity, blah 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 blah, and I decide to sell that 500 acres of land. And 500 acres of land, after selling it, I have money in the bank, but then I know that through inflation, they're going to inflate the money that I have, so it's going to be worth less in the future. So I'm now thinking, okay, what should I do? And I decide to buy gold. I sold 500 acres of land, so I'm getting like maybe $100 million. Not the real value, but $100 million. I decided to buy gold. Now, after buying gold, immediately I've just bought that gold. In fact, the person that I bought it from, that I paid the money, could shoot me and take the gold back if I don't have security. So, but then if it does not shoot me, if it doesn't kill me, it means that immediately I'm high risk.
Absolutely.
So I need protection
to
protect my $100 million worth of gold. I need protection. And those people that are going to protect me could actually kill me. That's one. But then other than that, I have to pay them. So it's actually
erosion
of value in the process. So maybe to protect my gold bullion, I'm going to be paying, let's say, 10 million. Maybe not 10 million. Let me be realistic. Maybe 3 million every year to protect my gold bullion. Okay. After that, I'm now said, okay, I want to live in Canada, in Alberta, Canada. I need to move my gold. I can sell it, but then ideally I don't want to sell it because I still want to keep it and keep saving. In fact. Okay,
that's where you store your wealth.
That's where I store my wealth.
Yeah, that's your assets.
So you say that I decide to sell it, which if I'm trying to run, if I'm trying to move as quickly as possible, I'll have to reduce the price I'm selling it, or maybe gold has gone up. Maybe the value of gold has gone up to like that my 100 million
2%.
By 2%, or by whatever percent. So I now sell it. I'll now have like 100 in cash again that can be sent to me to my bank in Canada. When I get to Canada, what do I do?
The process just seems
so complicated. It's so complicated and long.
Because at the end of the day, let's say for example, if there's war in the country, one thing you can decide to do is you can ship your gold. Again, that's erosion of value. You know, and then when you get there, you have to declare it. You know, and then you have to transport it from wherever you pick it up from to the place, and then again you have to get security people again. So
Exactly.
it's like really, how much? What's the value of your gold realistically based on the maintenance and and all your expenses?
I think the Venezuelan government, their gold has been in the UK. It's in the UK. The UK seized the gold.
Yeah.
The UK seized the gold and refused to give a whole country their gold.
Yeah.
Their gold that is worth billions of dollars.
Yeah.
You know, they decided not to give them because they decided they don't want to recognize the government of the person that is in government, the person that is sitting, because they have a figurehead. Is there a figurehead? Is that the word? They have a puppet that they wanted to impose on the people.
Yeah.
But then there is another guy that, for whatever reasons, maybe he did a coup. I don't know the story of Venezuela properly, but they decided to seize the gold. The gold is in London.
And it's making the monarchy even richer.
A sovereign country.
Yeah.
Their gold is in London, and then not just that they took the gold, to keep, and we can give you. No, they had to say we are not giving it back to you because we don't recognize your government. Like the effrontery to be able to do something like that. Like, who do you think you are? Are you perfect? Who made you the arbiter of truth?
Yeah.
Who made you the person that imposes? So those are the things that the problems that we have with God. And I think a lot of people are waking up to actually understand. Because money as a store of value, you have to start looking into gold and you start looking into Bitcoin. Bitcoins. And I think a lot of these other sovereign countries are actually understanding, because I heard rumors that Saudi Arabia, they've been buying Bitcoins. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's just rumors. So a lot of these countries are waking up to really understand how this thing works.
Yeah.
But then, unfortunately, most of the people that are the helm of affairs of most of these countries, they are people that love control, that want control. Bitcoin is something that they can't control.
Yeah.
So they are a little bit skeptical on adopting it verbatim. Or fully, rather, not verbatim, adopting it fully, because they can't control that.
Yeah.
And some of them are power crazy. So they want to retain power for as long as possible. Bitcoin does not allow you to do that, because you need the money to be able to do that. But then Bitcoin is not even what you can control yourself.
Yeah. Bitcoin, to me, I mean, if we go back to the yaps, for example, right?
Yeah.
It makes you sovereign. That's how I can look at it. Yeah, it makes you sovereign in a way that you become independent from anyone else, any organization, any bank. You're completely independent, because, like you said, everything is actually stored in your mind. Do you know what I mean? You have the blockchain. So the reason why I compared it to the yaps is because, let's say, for example, the people can be looked at as the blockchain, where everybody can see who owns what, or where did these transactions, how the transactions went back and forth. We can see that it's displayed for us. So it is the same way, but ultimately it is the one that owns the stone.
Imagine when you own the stone, you are like the richest guy, and every girl wants to fuck you.
Yeah, but I think that's what it is, because
you get all the babes.
Yeah, because imagine, to own the stone, it would actually mean that you need to you need to provide value. So that means if you want to be wealthy, and if you're clever, and you are a businessman, isn't it the businessmen that have all these the girls and the mistresses and the wives and then the double lives, with a Z, not with the S,
concubines.
So that's how I see it. I see it as, okay, when you own Bitcoins, ultimately you're sovereign, because again, everything is stored in you. Everything is stored in you. That you can decide to have your seed phrase. Everything is stored in your mind. And you walk. You can go. You can literally go to the airport. No luggages, no bags, nothing. Go in the airplane with your shirt on, right? But yet you're a billionaire. Nobody has to know that. Sometimes it's almost like, when you're wealthy, it becomes very hard to hide yourself. But when you're Bitcoin,
I've never thought about that, because we've been having conversation about, okay, how can you be a billionaire, multi-billionaire, and people wouldn't know?
Yeah, because ultimately that's what I want to do. I want to be a billionaire without people knowing that I'm a billionaire.
How do you retain that billionaire thingy, like money essence, and still be able to go to your local cost cutter without someone looking at you and knowing that you're a billionaire. And I think Bitcoin actually affords you the opportunity to do that.
You can do that because
it's
if,
in your head.
It's in your head, bro. If you go there right now, you see the way you're dressed right now, you can just go into the airport, boom, you take a flight. You sit there. You're not carrying any luggages. You don't need to wear all these fancy words. You don't need all those things. You just go. But yet, you're a billionaire. You're a billionaire in your head. Do you know what I mean? You're a billionaire in your head. So it kind of...
I think Bitcoin actually solves that problem. Because you remember the last time we talked about this, I told you it's very hard, because you have to protect yourself. You have to, find a way to protect yourself, to maintain that privacy.
Yes.
But actually, Bitcoin gives you that privacy.
Yeah.
I know Bitcoin is not the most privacy distinct coin on earth. I know that you're talking about Monero. But the fact that you can store your 12 mnemonic words in your head and you have something equivalent to, if you're going to look at it in fiat, you have something equivalent to like 3 billion in your head, but you are the only one can access it when you want to access it for what you want to access it for.
That's it.
So that means, but then obviously we have to think about the fact that because you are living in a fiat world, you know how Michael Kiwanuka said, "I'm a black man in a white world." It's like you're a Bitcoiner in a fiat world. So because you live in a fiat world, you still need to find ways to actually buy your plane tickets when you get to Nigeria.
That's fine now.
Buy your taxi, but
yeah, I can decide to live in the metaverse. I can decide to live in the metaverse, But yeah, it's crazy because I think there's a lot of things that there's still to learn. Because one of the main things I really wanted to learn about the YAP system was the unit of account, right? I think that's one of the small things that we explored. Okay, how do they make minor transactions? Because most of these things were major transactions.
How do you buy a cup of rice?
How do you buy a cup of rice with that? Because you only have one massive stone. So
I think we should talk about delve into the historical behavior of the yaps. How were they buying cup of rice? Things. If they were using a massive stone as will I call it their store of value? If they're using that as a store of value, how were they able to do like the tiny transactions that are every day?
Do people actually hold on into indexes? Have like an index of transactions. So like, let's say for example, like how you have like the blockchain. For example, when you make transactions, it's still available. It's still available to see that you've been.
It's an open permissionless system that everybody can access.
It's transparent.
That's
the word.
There's something that happened. No, I'm not going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this in the next podcast.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about something that happened in the Ethereum world again. Every time things are happening, it's like every week something is happening. Some people are losing their money.
I think people don't understand with Ethereum, right? The problem you have with trying to replicate what you have in our fiat system into crypto is the fact that it is taking us such a long time to kind of solve small issues that we had with fiat, and fiat is so far from perfect. So when you put that into crypto, right, people need to understand that you're gonna have massive issues that has taken generations to kind of nip it in the bud, to control it. Right now, it's fresh in crypto, in crypto, especially with Ethereum and all those other shit coins.
I was telling someone yesterday that the problem with Ethereum is that they sold people an idea of decentralization of a system that is not decentralized.
It's
centralized. Not actually, it's so centralized. They sold people an idea of something that is secure, strong, of a system that is not secure and strong.
But we all know that it's not secure as long as it's
Some
centralized.
people don't know. Some people don't know. Some people don't know. Some people actually believe.
This is the reason why we're having this conversation, isn't it?
Some people actually don't know. Like if you go and make a tweet about, some people are gonna come for you, maybe because of their interest that they have some S. But then a lot of people are genuinely unaware that Ethereum is fundamentally not what they are telling you that they are. And by the way, I'm not saying that Ethereum does not solve a problem. It solves a problem, but my issue is that they've been misrepresented. It has been misrepresented to people, for what it's not being called what it is. So I think that's fundamentally my problem with the system.
People always feel like as long as it's under the name cryptocurrency, that it makes it decentralized.
Yeah, well, not all of them. Like Solana, that is a database system.
It's
Solana is a database system, and
to me,
they
if
are
it's not
telling you that
Bitcoin,
it's super fast.
I think
super this.
Bitcoin, Monero.
Yeah,
I think Monero is very decentralized.
I don't even think Monero is very decentralized.
I think
I've already seen an issue with Monero, and they try so hard to make it really, really private, and they gave up a little bit on the decentralization. Yeah, I was reading about it over the weekend. I can't remember what it's called. I should have made notes. Yeah, I can't remember. There's a word for it that I need to mention, so that because I don't necessarily understand how that thing works. Like what it was called.
Yeah.
I don't understand how it works because obviously I don't understand the technology behind it. But basically, they say that because of that.
But is it being controlled by people?
Yeah, it's controlled by.
Or is it like, let's say, for example, an algorithm that has been set forth to actually behave the way it should behave?
Yeah, it's not really controlled by people, but he gave up a lot on the decentralization. You know, because just a few people, because decentralization has to be open. Something that is decentralized has to be open. It's like running a Bitcoin node.
Yeah.
To run a Bitcoin node, I'm not talking about mining. To run a Bitcoin node today, what we need is a Pi.
Yeah.
You know, like literally, it will cost us £200, £200, and we are running a full node like that will give us the genesis of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You know, there are very few cryptocurrencies that you can do the same thing, and especially very few considering how long Bitcoin has been in the game for 13 years.
Yeah.
So I think Monero gave up on a little bit on that. Yeah. You know, so it's like there are some just a handful of people.
They want to be. I think their whole idea is to be as this. To them, the idea of being decentralized, right, is you don't know my shit.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
your shit.
super privacy.
Super privacy.
Yeah.
Nobody knows anything. The only people that would know are the two people that did the transaction. You know. So I think that's their ideology of being decentralized.
Yeah, but I think they gave up a little bit because sometimes it's like you try to fix this issue, another issue comes up.
Yeah.
You know, the writer of what I read was when she was concluding, she said that one of the I'll call it founding fathers, even though he's not founding father, I don't know what other word to use, but one of the people that were there at the very beginning of Bitcoin, concluded after he searched so many ways to actually fix Bitcoin, he concluded that Bitcoin is perfect.
Yeah.
That was his conclusion. He spent years and then said, no, we can't do any other thing because if you do this, it gives up on this. If you do that, if you fix this one, it messes up another thing.
Yeah.
As it is right now, it's perfect.
It's and amen.
Yeah. If you want, that's why some people actually think that, you know, it might not have been created by human because it's too perfect. Yeah. You know, you can build on ramps on it.
Yeah.
Anybody that comes to you and tell you that
can't touch the monetary,
can't touch the base.
Yeah.
Like the everything is just perfect. Just leave it.
Yeah.
It's like give the dog a bone
and leave it alone.
Yeah. Like Bitcoin has been created perfect. Leave it. Build on ramps. You know, do what Stacks did.
Yeah.
You know, okay, there is no smart contract on Bitcoin. How can we build smart contract on Bitcoin? You know, do those things. But you can't touch the Bitcoin
don't
itself.
Touch the foundation.
You can't touch the foundation. The foundation is strong. Yeah. You know, unless if they release quantum computer in the future.
I don't know. I think another thing is people always want to be creators. People always want to be founders. People always, do you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, okay, you know, just the same way. Sometimes, like we have cars, right? Another car company will come and say, okay, this is the car that we have right now. I don't like it. I think there's a way to improve it. You know, Tesla came. Before Tesla, nobody was talking about electric cars. Maybe Nissan, because you had the Nissan Leaf, right?
I don't think Nissan Leaf was out before Tesla. I don't know. I have to check. I very much doubt.
But I think Nissan was out.
But Nissan Leaf wasn't out before Tesla.
Okay,
because you know the first Tesla was.
Let me ask Uncle Google.
But you know the first Tesla was what's this UK car company Lotus. What they did was to actually build their system on a Lotus. Yeah, you know, that was the first Tesla. So I don't think Nissan Leaf.
Let's find out.
Was out before Tesla did their first.
Okay. Yeah, apparently it goes to be beyond where we think, you know. It says the first successful electric car made its debut around 1890, thanks to William Morrison's.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
But
All
I
right.
think the question should be: was Tesla cars out before Nissan Leaf, or the Tesla car made, or do we have was Nissan Leaf out there before Tesla?
The the Leaf listed as the world all-time top-selling plug electric. Nah, it's not telling us.
When was the first Nissan Leaf
That's
manufactured, and then
okay.
ask when was the first Tesla manufactured? It's a whole skill actually knowing how to Google.
I know.
Yeah,
Trust
it's
me.
a whole skill, and it's underrated. I was speaking with Toby. Toby was telling me that yes, you can be senior developer, or anything, but then to be honest, what you need to know is 60% how to find answers to your question, and you have all because everything is on Google.
Yeah.
So if you can find if you can find answers to your question on Google, you are way ahead.
2010.
2010 for the first Nissan Leaf.
Yeah.
When was the first Tesla made?
It's true because even in my profession in IT, the question they will ask you is, do you know how to Google?
Yeah, very
They always
important.
ask you.
Yeah,
You're right, by 2 years, 2008.
yeah. I know because it was the Lotus. It's like they refactored the Lotus.
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah, very very nice. I love Lotus, man, but I'm too tall.
Yeah, this is the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, so it's always like trying to find ways to improve. Although this is it's already done. Somebody still wants to reinvent the wheel.
A lot of people run. You are right, but I feel like it goes back to our innate nature, innate desire to control.
Yeah,
That's what it goes back to. And Bitcoin is teaching us gradually to
relinquish that desire
exactly
to
to
control.
repeat that desire to control.
Yeah.
Humans, we have
And
this
that's probably
desire
that's probably
to
the reason
control.
why the world is where it is now. Because we've
Yes.
always desired
Desire to control. Oh, this is happening there. Let's
go
control them.
it.
How can we control the event that is going on
the
there?
whole idea of intervening into things.
Exactly. Unnecessary intervention in the system. You're just trying to control. But Bitcoin is teaching us how not to control. But then a lot of people that don't like Bitcoins today is because of that control issue. They cannot control Bitcoin. That's what I'm literally, I've sat down, thought about this. I'm like, okay, you have the developers that are like, oh, Ethereum allows us to build smart contracts.
Yeah, why didn't they build it on Bitcoin?
Exactly, because they can't control Bitcoin. So they think that they might not become a billionaire if they build it on Bitcoin. And which potentially they wouldn't. But then what's happening now is that they have all these systems that people are putting money on, and they're getting hacked, and people are losing their money, and then they're having SEC issues, and they're running helter-skelter, trying to run away from their country.
And then giving Bitcoin a bad name in the process.
Yeah, because everybody bundled it under crypto.
Yeah.
The crypto market is bad, and Bitcoin is not. Exactly. So we're supposed to talk about the Roman Empire.
Yeah, we're supposed to talk about Roman Empire. I just felt like today we should talk about the Yaps because obviously I feel like that was the next stage.
We're there first. We are there first before the Roman Empire.
I don't know, but I feel like their monetary system, because I think theirs with David Okefe, that was like in 71.
The Roman Empire is probably already there.
It was probably already there.
Yeah.
But then it's completely different. I liked that because I kind of like likened it to Bitcoins. Nobody knows. Everybody knows who owns what, basically. Do you know what I mean? And although in this instance the currency is there to see, right? But yes, you can't move it. You can't. There's a lot of things you can do with it. Just the same way, Bitcoin is. It's not a paper currency that we have. It's not tangible. If you get what I'm trying to say, So I just thought, okay, we should have that conversation. But I think the Roman Empire is the next thing because I feel like the Roman is going to be flipping interesting. It's going to be a very interesting conversation.
I couldn't believe it when you told me that the Roman Empire lasted for
a millennium.
Yeah, that's 1,000 years.
Yeah, it did.
It's 1,000 years. I think that's what I'm supposed to say. Yeah. So it's interesting how long they were able to maintain the status quo. And to look at Italy today is a joke. Yep. How many years did the British Empire last? Probably the shortest empire. I think the empire thing, as we technologically advance, civilization grows, the empire thing becomes shorter.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
400 years.
400 years. How long is the American Empire? Because after the British Empire, it was the American Empire.
Yes.
I think we should look at the Greek Empire and see whether it lasted longer than the Roman Empire.
American Empire. Well, we're still in the American Empire.
They won't call it an empire, but it's an empire.
Yeah.
But give or take, it's probably like 100 years, I think.
Since the 16th century. So you're looking, because you have to understand the British Empire and American Empire actually goes a little bit hand in hand, isn't it? Because of the relationship they had.
No, but I think the British Empire totally collapsed after the Second World War.
Yeah.
So after the First World War, actually, it was teetering.
Yeah.
It
and
was
the Second
like
World
we can't do this anymore.
just
Then the Second World War just wiped it out entirely. And it's like they started cahooting with the US, with the Americans, which actually kept them relevant still. How long was the Greek Empire?
Greek Empire.
Let's see.
The first person to ever minted gold coin was a Greek.
Oh, really?
Kosix or something like that, his name was. That's okay. Ancient Greece emerged from the Dark Ages of 776 before Christ.
They gave you the dates, but it's written in BC.
Yeah.
So you have to
just tell me. Just give a figure. Just tell me 500 years. That's all I want to know. It's all in BC. I think we just have to find out.
Anyways, guys, thank you for listening and have a wonderful week. Today is Wednesday, so we are working on releasing another episode by Friday. Yeah. Friday we'll have another episode where we talk about the Roman Empire and how it affects money, how they use money, and how inflation actually killed that empire.
Yeah.
Some people look at other things that killed the empire, but it's basically always boils back to money, back to money. And I think it's the money thing that's going to bring down the American empire too.
It's already happening.
Inflation, Inflation is making people to take some decisions that they're not supposed to take.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you for listening and have a wonderful week. Bye.
Okay. Bye.